This segment of the news is brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.
Welcome back. Progressive Liberal Party Chairman Senator Fred Mitchell condemning the government whom he says has failed the people of Abaco. This after the managing director of the Disaster Reconstruction Authority told a local daily that there's a severe housing shortage on that island. The PLP chairman contends that clearly the government is incapable of managing the challenges being faced in Abaco, and worse, they outright do not care. In a statement over the weekend, Mr. Mitchell says the reconstruction efforts have been disorganized and the minister-led administration have yet to present the Bahamian people with a detailed account of where all the millions of dollars have gone that were allocated for Abaco's recovery. He adds that the Disaster Recovery Authority claims that well over 3,000 homes are needed to properly house the residents of Abaco and Grand Bahama. However, he says the Bahamian people are fed up with hopeless assessments, adding that there is an ongoing outcry for action. He commends the people of Abaco for their indomitable spirit, charging that the island deserves better. As the country prepares for the next general elections slated for May 2022, many independent parties and persons are considering throwing their hats into the race. Are these smaller groups considering joining forces? Our Jarino Saunders tells us in this report.
There has been much talk about smaller political parties joining forces to offer a viable option to Bahamians other than the two major political parties, the Free National Movement and the Progressive Liberal Party. However, in recent weeks, it appears the smaller parties getting together under one banner is unlikely to happen. Recently, Ali McIntosh, leader of the Bahamas Constitution Party, the BCP, introduced a new plan called Partnership for Good Governance. Ms. McIntosh says the BCP intends to contest the general elections with Christian and morally upright men and women who believe in good and righteous governance. She says they are willing to partner with individuals and organizations that shares its values.
The BCP has led continuous talks with all third parties over the past 12 months and has successfully partnered with 3 organizations thus far and remains at the table for amenable conversations for Partnership for Governance campaign. That is for our Partnership for Governance campaign. Today, we are renewing a fresh call and invitation to persons and organizations who are seriously committed to the principle of integrity and transparency that are enshrined in both the process of governance and the institution of government.
It's been a little over a week since Ms. McIntosh and the BCP pulled out of talks with Lincoln Bain and the Coalition of Independents. Mr. Bain is reported as saying the two sides could not agree on a logo. But Ms. McIntosh says the BCP has cause for grave concern as it relates to activities and some of the individuals linked to the Coalition of Independents and a potential sinister plot at hand.
We have found out that the pro-Haitian organization Rights Bahamas, with the assistance of a sitting cabinet minister, now seeks to infiltrate the election by promoting the idea of all independent candidates in the country, and has successfully encouraged or placed an independent candidate in most, if not all, of the constituencies for the upcoming general election. Their determination is, should the independents win, they will form themselves into a party called Rights Bahamas to form a government with the agenda to take control of the Bahamas for the benefit of foreign sources. Rights Bahamas is fully aware that they would not be accepted front on by the Bahamian society or the Bahamian Haitian community regarding this sinister agenda. So they have changed their approach to produce the same result.
She adds that some of the legal advisors from the Coalition of Independents and Bahamas Evolution are leaders in Rights Bahamas that have been advised not to continue talks with the BCP because the conspiracy would be quickly unearthed. Ms. McIntosh contends that many of the candidates and supporters of the Coalition of Independents are not aware of the underlying agenda. Jurino Saunders for JCN News.
In news from the courts, a Bahamian female was charged in magistrate's court over on Grand Bahama on Friday with 2 counts of fraudulent marriage. The Department of Immigration's prosecution unit took the woman and 2 men whom she married before Magistrate Debbie Ferguson to answer the charges for infractions of the immigration laws. 41-year-old Nada Kate Outen, a mother of 8, was formally charged with 2 counts of entering into a fraudulent marriage. She pleaded guilty with an explanation. Outen says she was down on her luck and needed the funds offered in exchange for both marriages and subsequent grant of legal status to care for her children. The prosecution, taking into consideration that she is the primary caregiver for her children with no assistance, requested no custodial sentence. Outen was fined $1,500 for each count, or in default of payment, serve 1 year for each count at the Bahamas Department of Correctional Services to run consecutively. She was released and given until the 1st of June 2021 to pay the fine. Meantime, her 2 co-accused, Jamaican national Oral Anthony White and Haitian national Moselis Monius, both stated that they were unaware of Miss Outen's marriage to the other. However, they too pleaded guilty to the charge of entering into a fraudulent marriage, as the arrangement was only made to ensure they received legal status to live and work in the country. The duo were ordered deported forthwith. Stay with us. Our final story is up next.
This segment of the news has been brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.